Hello, this is VaderFan777 back again with week 3 of Across the Galaxy, and today we are taking a look at the TIE Interceptor, and let's just dive right into the history of it. The TIE Interceptor so far has been released 4 times, and we're seeing its 5th release later on this year. And it started way back in the Kenner days in 1984, where it retailed for $19.99 under the name TIE Interceptor. The date stamp on the cockpit was 1978 because it was made from the original TIE Fighter cockpit. It was a dark gray color and had the double opening cockpit, which I've explained in my TIE Fighter video. It once again had that TIE screech with the red LED right in the middle. Well, not LED, but a little red light right in the middle. And it did have the pop-off wings with no texture on the wings. It just had stickers. Because they didn't do any of the texturing on the wings on the TIE Fighters yet, it just had stickers. And of course, no figure was included. It was bigger than most of the TIE Fighters. It was a very nice vehicle. I've seen some good reviews of it. I do not personally have one myself. This is the only one I have, but let's just keep moving on. The next one was in the Power of the Jedi, once again under the name TIE Interceptor. It was released in 2001, so quite some time in between releases, and it retailed for $29.99 as a Toys R Us exclusive. As you can see, it did bump up $10. It did still have the large electronic box on the back of it, but with no noise or the light, which was a bit strange. It once again had the double opening canopy, pop-off wings, but this time they are new because they do not have any of the stickers. They actually have the texture of what we all come to know of as our TIE Fighter wings, because these are the wings that have been used on every single TIE Interceptor so far, other than the Kenner one. It did include a TIE Fighter pilot, and it had this kind of whitish gray color. The next is one that I actually have right here, is the Elite TIE Interceptor, which it was called under the 30th Anniversary Collection. It was released in 2007 for $34.99, so once again bumping the price, and it once again was a Toys R Us exclusive. It had a single-side opening cockpit, and which is different from the other TIE Interceptors, obviously, and the reason it has that is because it is using the cockpit from the 2007 30th Anniversary Collection TIE Fighter, which is obviously different. And this is actually the first time we see a different cockpit from the Kenner one, as it does not have the big electronic box as the other two did. It once again has the pop-off wings, and they're just rehashed from the TIE Interceptor in Power of the Jedi. And we get a new 181st Elite Pilot, which is a repaint of Saga Legends. Not Saga Legends, the 2004 Saga line, my mistake. And here is that pilot right here. Kind of a crappy figure. It's not very good. Minimal articulation and detail, but he is a variation of your standard pilot. And this one has the red stripes and the kill marks to indicate it as the 181st paint deco, and once again has the whitish gray color scheme. And the latest release of the TIE Fighter came 2 years later in 2009 under the Legacy Collection, once again called TIE Interceptor, and it was once again a Toys R Us exclusive. So now it's retailing for $49.99. So, as you can see, it's bumping up the price every year, which is ridiculous, if you ask me. But getting back to this, it was brand new cockpit with removable seat and realistic controls. That's different than anything else we'd ever seen before. It did use the same 2001 Power of the Jedi pop-off wings, but those wings are pretty good, so we look past that. It now has the back opening cockpit, which is different from anything before, and had the whiter color scheme, and it did include a modern TIE Fighter pilot, which we have all come to know today. And those are every single release of the TIE Interceptor. Now, the new TIE Interceptor coming out will be in the Vintage Collection box, and it does look like it's just kind of a repaint of the 2009 TIE Interceptor, which is not bad because I did not pick that one up because I just couldn't get money at the time, but I'm very glad I'll be able to pick it up now. And we don't know what that'll retail for yet. Obviously, it's not going to include any figures, unfortunately, so it should probably be back down to that $35 range. It wouldn't surprise me if they went up to a $40 range. 40 is probably what they'll do because the AT-ST was $35, and that's only because of the vintage box. But, you know, I could be wrong. They could be good people and just bump down the price a little bit, but I highly doubt it. I think 40 or 35 is what it'll be. And that's all the TIE Interceptors. I'm really looking forward to the new one coming out this year. It's obviously one of the ships featured in Return of the Jedi. Not my personal favorite of the films, but it is a fantastic ship. Now that I have one in front of us, let's just get into a little bit of detail into this specific one I have, which is the 30th Anniversary 181st Elite TIE Interceptor. Now, as I mentioned, it does have the textured wings, as you can see. It has the big red stripe going across it, and you can see the little bumps. Some very nice detailing there. It's just an overall great ship. Now, the cockpit itself, I'll get into detail later, but first let's show the removable wings feature. These little buttons up here in the corner do remove the wings, and if I hold it like this, they will fly off when I press the buttons. Yeah, that was loud. Moving on to the cockpit section, now that I can show you a bit more detailed. It does have the black, which is based on, obviously, the comic. It does have the little kill marks, which I find very interesting. I do like that on my Interceptor. This has the side kind of straddle cockpit. The newer one obviously opens back like Darth Vader's. And it does have the little plexiglass that I mentioned that the other ties didn't have in my other videos, which is very nice. As you can see, or can't see, there's no actual cockpit detail, it's just a sticker, which is kind of unfortunate. But other than that, it's a great cockpit. I really like the design of this, but obviously the new one is far superior. And it is going to replace this one on the new TIE Interceptor. And the wings, as you can see kind of in there, they're just on a spring, and they fly off like that. And that is my TIE Interceptor. Try to center that. I'm very looking forward to picking up the newer one. Obviously, it's going to be a much better TIE Interceptor than this one. And I'll actually have now 2 TIE Interceptors in my collection. I don't know if it's going to be exclusive anywhere. But interestingly enough, which I found very strange, aside from the Kenner one, every single one of them has been a Toys R Us exclusive, which I found very peculiar. I don't think this one is a Toys R Us exclusive. Again, I could be wrong. But from what I've seen on the pictures of it, it is not going to be a Toys R Us exclusive. So that probably means that the price might be a tad lower, which is nice. And that's really it for the TIE Interceptor. It comes from some of the best scenes in Return of the Jedi. They were very effective in Return of the Jedi. And of course, they were used to combat the A-Wing, which we'll see later on in this series. And that about wraps this one up. Next week, I will be reviewing the TIE Bomber to conclude the TIE series. And before I go, I would just like to make a little plug here. As you know, these ships come from Return of the Jedi, and coming up this Saturday, May 25th, I believe, I will be joining RF Biker Scout on his Legion of YouTubers Best Star Wars Talk, where we will be joined by the one and only Sith Lord 229. So hopefully you guys all head over to RF Biker Scout's channel, subscribe to him if you haven't already, and be ready for some great talk about Return of the Jedi. It's just going to be a really fun experience, I think, for everyone. We'll be taking questions in the chat. It's just going to be a great time, and I really hope that Steve enjoys it too. So, that about wraps this one up. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you all.